What's going on, everybody? It's Simply Breezy, and today I want to talk about how to rush. For those of you that aren't familiar, rush hour is the last 1, or depending on the week, 2 hours of arena on Sundays before it resets and tallies everyone's ranking to provide them with their weekly reward. I saw a lot of controversy on Reddit the last couple days regarding last week's rush because of this Dark Pirate Captain you can see on the screen here. Such a coveted reward. And I talked to a lot of people and had a lot of people ask me because I did, in fact, finish in the top 30. Hey, how did you rush? Like, what offense did you use? What, how did you achieve that? And I saw a lot of people posting maybe some tactics that they were using that maybe aren't the best. So I wanted to educate the community, for those that don't know, on the best way to rush in the last 1 to 2 hours of arena, or 8 if that's what you really want to do. Not super beneficial, but we're going to talk about the best way to place in the top 30 in a complete rush hour, compete in rush hour, as it is so competitive, especially this upcoming week. The few things you need to know with rush hour are that when you hit someone, they're going to go down and you're going to go up. The people you hit that have more points than you give you more points and they lose more points. People with less points than you give you less points and they also lose less points. So the idea is to hit as many people as quick as you can to raise your points up to the highest 30 people with the most points, right? The problem with the arena right now in Dungeon Hunter Champions is that defenses are very tough to build. Most defenses can be bursted and will be bursted. Water Archangels aside, I know the invulnerability is tough. It is kind of the meta for the top defenses. You'll see that as we go through in the video, but there are ways to beat them. People do beat them. All the top players beat Water Archangel defenses nonstop during rush hour. At least most of them. I might be the 1%. But that's going to come in with what I talk about in a minute here. So defenses are hard to craft. Put up your meatiest, tankiest champions. The longer it's going to take me to hit your defense, the more dissuade I'm going to be from hitting it. And here's why. Because defenses are so hard to build right now and everyone can hit just about every defense, it means you're going to get hit, and it means you're going to get hit a lot. So the more wins you can pump out in that 60 minutes, the higher chance you have of placing higher, or top 30. I fully expect to be hit at least 2 to 3 times every minute. So if I'm not beating 5 to 6 defenses every minute, that means I'm going to be going down in points. How am I going to climb if people are hitting me more than I'm 3 people can hit me at the time that I hit 1, right? So you want a fast arena offense is what I'm getting at. You want to be able to destroy people, cleave them, wipe them like hot butter, right? Just get through them as quick as you can, one on to the next. That's how you're going to climb in rush hour. That, and the other tip, is to know your opponents. Have a list. I've got a notebook right next to me with a list of ADs that I can crush in under 5 seconds, and ADs that I can beat but take me more than 20 to 30 seconds. I know which ones I want to hit and which ones I don't. I'm going to steer clear of those defenses that take me 20 to 30 seconds, even though I know I can beat them, because I'll probably get hit 1 or 2 or 3 times while I'm hitting them. It's not beneficial to me in the last 30 minutes to 60 minutes of the rush, right? I'm going to drop in rank even if I get a victory, because everybody's in the arena hitting everybody at that time. So know who you can hit, have their names memorized, and blow them up as quick as you can and move on to the next one. Those are 2 of the best pieces of advice I can give for people rushing and competing for that top 30 this week. So let's take a look. So Eudokia, I know I can hit this defense. He's on my list. I know I can beat it fairly quickly. It's a week later. He's probably upgraded some gear. It might not be 5 seconds anymore, but I know that I can hop in here and I can obliterate this defense. And the other thing is, you'll notice that I was scrolled down to the bottom of my list, you guys. Like I mentioned earlier, the defenses you hit that are behind you, that you have more points than those people, give you less points. And they lose less points. What it also does is it increases your gap on someone you're already ahead of. But when you beat someone that has more points on you, above you, it increases or decreases their gap on their lead on you, potentially actually making a swing so that you can go ahead of them and climb rank. I talked to a lot of people that said, I cleared my whole list. How didn't I rush well? Every time I won, I'd go down in points. Well, it's because you're clearing your list means you're beating a lot of people that are already below you while you're still getting hit. If you refresh your list a few times, and every time you refresh, you hit people that have higher points than you. There we go. If you constantly refresh your list and are always hitting people that are above you in points, it means you're constantly going to be trying to climb above somebody else. That's the best way to rush. You don't ever want to hit someone that's below you unless you absolutely are forced to. And that was a little bit slower run, and I even lost one, you guys. You could see there. So this might be a name I consider changing for Rush Hour on my list of defenses that I can and cannot hit during that last hour, just because it was a little slower than I wanted to. I'm not beating it in 5 or 10 seconds or less. And then know who you can't hit, right? I know that my offense is catered towards cleaving without a cleanse. That means immunity is tougher and invulnerability is off the table. I can't hit people with that offense with a Water Archangel. So I'm not going to hit a majority of these people on this list. I'm just not. They all have Water Archangel. I can hit Mufflon. However, if you look at this, during Rush Hour, if I were to hit him right now, I'm already 79 points ahead of him. That just increases my lead on him. But if I'm assuming that the people ahead of me are also rushing, that means they're going to win one in the same amount of time I win one, most likely. Meaning the point gap is going to go from there to there, right? It's never going to go like that or that if I'm not hitting them. And if they're hitting me, it's just going to get bigger. So what you want to do is you want to keep refreshing. And you're going to have to use some gems to refresh in Rush Hour, you guys. That's just the way it is if you want to compete in the top 30. You're going to have to use 10 gems to refresh like that. If you refresh and there's no one ahead of you that you can hit, use the 10 gems. You're competing for a very coveted prize. It's worth it. We can scroll down. We can see Roland, Giggle. I know I can hit. Bam. We can go after it. I didn't double check the points to see if he's ahead of me, but he's in the top 2 on my list, right? He's the 2 highest ranked players on my list. I'm going to hit that 99% of the time. If they're not ahead of me, I might still hit it depending on what my rank is. If my rank was down in like 30 or 40 or 50, I probably wouldn't bother and I'd move on or refresh. But because it's in like the top 10 right now, if this is where I was sitting at during Rush Hour with 10 or 30 minutes left, I don't know that I'd hit someone below me because it's not as beneficial. That was really unfortunate that the Blade Master got a wipe there, but that's okay. If I'm paying more attention, I know I can 4-second this defense, right? Well done, Giggle. But yeah, if you're constantly hitting people that are ahead of you in points, it means you're constantly gaining on them a lot more than you could be if you were hitting people below. Instead of climbing 10 points closer to them, you're climbing 20 because they're also losing 10. You don't ever want to go through your whole entire list because there's no benefit to it. You don't get additional charges for clearing your list right now. It just gives you a new list. So why not just refresh when the timer's up if you hit a few and then go to the next one? Or if there's none you want to hit, pay the 10 gems and refresh it. In the future, that might change, you guys. This advice could certainly change because with the next update, they are going to start handing out bonuses for consecutive wins. I imagine refreshing with gems will not reset those bonuses, but refreshing once the timer's out, like so, will, as well as losing. But right now, see, I can scroll down. I can hit the guy at the bottom of my list. Because I'm rank 7, there's not many people ahead of me. Like, I can refresh real quick. I think there's one person ahead of me that I can hit, and we'll try and find him so I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, but I can't find him. But that's okay. But the ideas for a successful Rush Hour are to establish a fast offense, that is going to be able to beat the defenses in under 10 seconds. If you can't beat a defense in under 10 seconds, it's not beneficial in reaching the top 30. It's going to be very, very difficult if you can't be beating a handful of different defenses in under 10 seconds each round. I autoed this one, so it's taking a little slower. So be it. It's not rush hour right now. 2, have a list of people you know you can hit and people you know you can't hit that will either beat you or take longer than that 10 seconds per round. Ideally, you want to be quicker than 10 seconds like this, but you just want to be as quick as you can be. Be as quick as you can be, know who you can and cannot hit, and refresh your list consistently to only attack people that are above you in points. Those are the 3 ways that you're going to have the most successful rush hour, you guys, and give you the absolute best chance of placing in the top 30 if you're competing for it, or just going for a personal best record at the end of any week that's coming up. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video helps some people out. Best of luck to everyone in rush hour this week competing for that pirate. I'll see you up there, and I will see you all in the next one.